Take a little interlude. It's been a struggle this morning. Been up since 4. It's okay. Mama opened the door. There was jelly in the cupboard and preserves and dill pickles down in the cellar. Tell you about a Montana cowboy overseeing his herd in a remote mountain pasture, when suddenly a brand new Porsche advances out of the dust, sliding to a halt in front of him. The driver, a young man in an Armani suit, Gucci shoes, Ray-Ban sunglasses, and YSL tie, leans out of the window and asks the cowboy, "If I tell you exactly how many cows and calves you have in your herd, will you give me a calf?" And the cowboy looks at the man, thinking obviously a yuppie, then looks at his peacefully grazing herd and calmly answers, "Sure, why not?" Well, the yuppie parks his BMW and whips out his Dell notebook computer, connects it to his iPhone cell, surfs the NSA or the NASA page and on the internet, where he calls up a GPS satellite navigation system to get exact fix on his location, and then he feeds to another NASA satellite and scans the area for ultra high resolution photo. The young man then opens a digital photo on Adobe Photoshop and exports it to an image processing facility in Hamburg, Germany. And within seconds, he receives an email on his iPad. The image has been processed and the data stored. Then accesses an MSSQL database through a ODBC connected Excel spreadsheet with email on his BlackBerry, and after a few minutes receives a response. Finally, he prints out a full-color 150-page report on his high-tech miniaturized Hewlett-Packard laser printer. Finally turns to the cowboy and says, "You have exactly 1,586 cows and calves." "That's right. Well, I guess you can take one of my calves," says the cowboy. And he watches the young man select one of the animals and looks on amused as the young fellow stuffs it into the trunk of his BMW. And then the cowboy says to the young man, "Hey, if I tell you exactly what your business is, will you give me back my calf?" And the young man thinks for a while, and then he says, "Oh, okay, why not? You're a congressman in the United States government," says the cowboy. "Wow, that's correct," says the yuppie. "But how did you guess that?" "Not guessing required," answered the cowboy. "You showed up here even though nobody called you. You wanted to get paid for an answer I already knew, to questions I never asked. You tried to show me how much smarter you were than I was, and you don't know a thing about cows. This is a herd of sheep. I would call it a flock of sheep. Now give me back my dog." And I speak of forked tongues and pots of hail, walking across frozen water, feeling what I feel, wearing hearts on my sleeve, tasting golden breaths of spring rain, June breezes whispered in your ear, pumping hearts and perspiration near, opening the gates of heaven sent, empty bottles floating in the rain, rain streaming into rivers and emptying into creeks and bypasses and waterways and cul-de-sacs, eventually into a golden ocean, forked trees and buckets of hail. Oh, let me tell you. Oh, yeah. Hanging out with the idiot emeritus right here at 91.5 WRPI Troy. Like I said earlier, I'm behind the 8 ball. if I knew what I was doing, I'd be more dangerous than I am. Alrighty. I'm going to tell you a story about an old man who gets a shave in a barber shop. Yeah, there was this old cowhand that walks into a barber shop in Red Lodge, Montana for a haircut and a shave. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits as the song goes. He tells the barber, I can't get all the whiskers off because his cheeks are wrinkled from age. The barber gets out a little wooden ball from a cup on the shelf and tells the old cowboy, just put this inside your cheek to spread the skin. And when the barber's finished, the old cowboy tells him, that was the cleanest shave I'd had in years. He wants to know what would happen if he accidentally swallowed the little ball. The barber replies, just bring it back in a couple of days like everybody else does. Now, for the rest of the story. Krypton likes noble gas, and I'm on atomic neon. I'm bringing oxygen and a glimmer through the rainy night. It's way too muggy to sleep, and the jukebox is whispering some kind of love song across the levee. Come to me, hold me, in this interterrestrial plane, Jupiter coalescing with hydrogen from Mars. I'll be your lasered fractional distillation, liquid stars somewhere in this crazy atmosphere. You're my Krypton and I can be your neon, and we will get through the rain, humidity, and loneliness of this night. Alright, I'm going to tell you about this cowboy. I was a cowboy, and a lady sees this cowboy and says, are you really a cowboy? And the cowboy says, why, yes, ma'am, born and raised right here in Montana. Worked on a ranch since I was knee-high to a pup. And the woman says, I've always wondered why cowboys wear those big hats. The cowboy answers, the wide brim keeps the sun off you when it's hot, and the rain off you when it's raining. The lady says, why do you wear them vests? Well, ma'am, it keeps you warm when it's cold, but it leaves your arms free for roping and working. But what about the chaps? Well, they keep the burrs and the brambles off you, you know. She says, well, that all makes perfect sense, but I don't understand why you're wearing tennis shoes. Ah, that's easy, so folks won't mistake me for a trucker. Well, yeah, there it was, halfway through the night, half sleepy, half awake, slapping my cheeks and stomping my feet. Open the windows, trying to stay awake, keeping it steady at 85, right through Nebraska. I'm sure to arrive at the coast before too long, a day or two maybe. I figure I better pull off this exit and curl up in the back seat behind the pumps. And in the morning, I'll wake up after I catch some Z's and pump me a full tank, get me some salted peanuts and some Dr. Pepper, and I'll be ready for another day. Yeah, that's the way it is. The backseat motel of the '59 Ford Police Interceptor, going cross country, coast to coast. Ah, yeah, daybreak, ready for another 500 miles, I suppose. Pretty soon I'll be wiggling my toes in the Pacific Ocean. Alrighty, let's get on with the shoe-do. WRPI Troy.